Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and I'm just going through a bag of games that I'm going to be trading in tomorrow to pick up a few retro games that I want to add to my collection. One in particular, and they have this game at a video game shop near me, and they've had this game for years, and it has not sold because they have it severely overpriced. So my goal tomorrow is to bring these games in to get some trade credit and then see if I can flip that trade credit into picking that game up. But at the same time, I'm going to have to try and convince them to sell the game at today's market price, because the game has definitely gone down in price. I don't want to give the game away. You'll see it in the video that I make tomorrow, but hopefully I'm able to make a deal. So I'm not going to talk about the games that I pull out here, but I am going to talk as I pull these games out, because someone left a comment under one of my videos asking a very important question. And they said, is it safe to, or they asked, is it safe to say that the video game market is crashing? Now, at the very onset of this video, I'm going to go ahead right now and say that I have not done enough market research or any type of research to be able to definitively say whether or not the video game market is crashing. On top of that, I cannot use, anecdotal comments and information that you hear on YouTube as any type of supporting argument to substantiate the idea that the retro gaming market, or not the retro gaming market, but the actual current video game market is crashing today. But on the very face of it all, right? Like at a very surface level, and by surface level, I mean on the level of a basic person who just buys video games and plays them, I do feel like the air is being sucked out of video gaming, period. Or at least console gaming. Now, over the past few years, I've definitely heard a lot of talk and conversation about PC gaming. PC gaming has definitely been something that I've heard about, and I'm not just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about friends, family, anyone that I know that has like a young child or young children. I'm hearing more and more children today ask their parents for a stronger gaming PC, right? That's what I heard that's what I've been hearing for the past few Christmases, for the past few, birthdays. It's, Mom, Dad, can I get a stronger PC? Can I get a new headset? I need a new gaming keyboard, right? And for someone that's cut from my cloth, that comes from my era, just hearing, can I get a new gaming keyboard, just sounds so strange to me. Because I come from an era where you just use controllers, man. Like, I need a new video game controller, or I need the controller that has the little button that I can flick that keeps on pressing A real fast. So I can, it's almost like a cheat code that you can use. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this gravitational pull within this generation to PC gaming when it comes to modern games, right? And it seems that there is less hype around actual consoles. Now, it doesn't mean that consoles aren't selling well. I'm not saying that the consoles of today aren't doing numbers, that people aren't buying them. But I feel like as time goes on, the energy, the hype around them is kind of fading away. And so that's part one. Part two is that I feel like the games that are being made today are obviously, unless it's a game that's being made to intentionally have a retro feel, like unless the game is a 2D sprite-based game, or unless the aesthetics of the game are set in like some type of animated, cel-shaded graphical style. Like if it's a game that's really, attempting to mimic like live action or real life people, a lot of those games are being created with stories that are very modern, that are very woke, that are very, what's going on today. And I feel like there is a lot of sensitivity that this generation has that my generation didn't have. You have to be very careful of how you joke about things. You have to be very careful about how you address people. You have to make sure you're using the right pronouns. You have to make sure that you're not offending anyone. You have to make sure that in some way you're subliminally supporting a cause or a movement. And so all of these factors are seeping their way into gaming, right? And for the younger generation, maybe like they're not picking up on it, or maybe they are, maybe it's something that they like. But I know for a large demographic of gamers, and that demographic would be, let's just say, young men between the ages of, I don't know, 20 and 40, right? Or 45, which is a demographic that I would say makes up a huge part of gaming, right? A lot of these ideas, a lot of these tropes, a lot of these messages that we see in gaming just are not resonating anymore with that demographic. It just doesn't resonate anymore. And I think there was a time where when you played video games, you really looked for a good story. You wanted a good story. You wanted a game with a good theme. You wanted a game with a good theme and great gameplay. If a game had a great theme, a great story, great gameplay, that was going to be enough to make it a classic, right? And I think about a lot of the games that are classics, and that's really what a lot of them were made up of. But today, it seems like because companies are struggling, I think, to be innovative with gameplay, they're relying on story. And so what do I mean, right? Like there's only a certain number of ways you can make a hack and slash game, right? There's only a certain number of ways you can make an RPG game. There's only a certain number of ways that you can make a puzzle-based game. And so there's this lack of innovation as to what types of gameplay can be created. And this is a big part of the reason why we're seeing regurgitation, a remastering, a re-renditioning, a re-whatever of gameplay styles that we've seen time and time and time again since the 6th generation of gaming. And so what happens when the gameplay is no longer fresh and the stories are no longer stimulating to the core demographic? You start to see a lack of enthusiasm and low expectations that demographic will start to have for the new games that are coming out. And on the very surface, that's what I think I'm seeing more than anything else. I'm seeing this lack of enthusiasm and this lack of expectation for something substantial from that demographic. Now, do I think that gaming is on a crash course to, complete failure? No. There's two things that I think could turn this around, and this is just, again, me speaking at a very surface level. The two things that could turn this around are the two things that I think are lacking. The first of which being innovation in gameplay, and the second being a reimagined way of storytelling, right? Perhaps maybe mixing some of the traditional stories we had from back in the day with some of this new stuff. I don't know. I think what's easier to fix is probably going to be the stories that we get behind some of these games, the stories that drive some of these games. I think that's a little bit easier to fix. The messaging, the wokeness, the subliminal stuff. I think that can be fixed a little bit faster. What I think is going to be harder is the gameplay innovation. And there's really only one other leap that I think that will truly be innovative. And I've mentioned it before on my channel, and I'm just waiting for them to get the technology to a place where it could be mass produced at an affordable rate for the average consumer to purchase. Because I'm telling you, what I'm thinking is the next frontier is going to be very expensive. And that's true virtual reality and gameplay immersion. I think the next innovation in gameplay is going to be a truly immersive gameplay experience, which is going to probably involve something more than just like virtual reality goggles. It's probably going to involve a video game bodysuit, right? That completely covers your eyes, your ears, and captures all of your senses. Your sense of feeling, your sense of vision, your sense of hearing, even your sense of smell, to try and truly immerse you into the gameplay experience. And I know this might sound a little Black Mirror-ish, right? But that's the next level of innovation. Because like I said, I think we're getting bored of consoles. I can't really see a console, no matter how fast you make the frames per second, no matter how much you boost that up, no matter how much whatever it is you want to do. I don't think these frame rate increases and these faster loading times are going to be innovative enough to provide a differentiated experience for the casual gamer. It's not going to be captivating enough. I think the next frontier is going to be true gameplay immersion. And the reason why I don't think it's there yet is because it's cost prohibitive. It would cost way too much. If you look at Apple Vision, I mentioned this on my channel like at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I went and decided to test out the Apple Vision Pro, right? Just for laughs and the giggles. I went and tested that out, and while Apple Vision Pro is probably like still the infant stages of virtual reality and that immersive experience, it's pretty doggone immersive. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And if that's where the immersive experience is at this stage of the game, I can only imagine what that experience will be like 10, 15, 20 years from now, when they're able to scale that technology and provide it at a reasonable price to the average consumer. And of course, by reasonable, I mean it's still probably going to be like $4,000 to get, the hardware to do any of that stuff, right? Because Apple Vision Pro already cost you the price of like a 2014 Honda Civic. I mean, it's just crazy. We're talking $5,000-$6,000. But by that time, will there be so many people anxious to escape reality that they'd be willing to pay that price? I don't know. It's a brave new world out there. You never know what it's going to be like a few years from now. There are a lot of people that are trying to escape their reality now. So, and I know I'm probably going off the rails, and you're probably like, Y2K, bro, you're getting too deep tonight. You're getting too deep. Yeah, I'm getting deep tonight. But when you ask a question like, is the video game market dead? Is it crashing? No, I just think it's lacking innovation, and I think it's lacking good storytelling. And I think the only way to truly revive it is to fix either one or both of those things. The storytelling, as I said before, that could be fixed rather quickly. But innovation is usually expensive. And I don't know if the average consumer is going to be willing to pay that price. But let me know what you think down in the comments. It's the Y2K Collector, getting ready for a decent trade. Hopefully you've got some cool things planned for this weekend. It's Thursday. Weekend is right around the corner. I know I have some big plans, and I'll take you along with me to do this trade. But let me know what you think about some of these concepts. Do you think an immersive experience is the next frontier? I'm interested to know your thoughts. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.